All right, nickel fans. I'm Ryan, also known as Nickel Guy 88, and I have hit the 300,000 nickels searched mark. Golly, 2 years. 2 years I have been aggressively searching these nickels in my attempt to complete the 1938 through 1961 Jefferson nickel set. Well, somewhat as a surprise to me, I still have not found the 1939 Denver or the 1943 Denver. But over the last 9 days, I have aggressively searched 40,000 nickels that I purchased in the end of December. Really thought I was going to find one of them, but it is what it is. Uh, all efforts were not a waste, though. I did find four key date nickels. I found three more 1939 San Francisco's and a 1938 Denver. And I was also fortunate enough to add a Buffalo nickel to the collection that I had not found, a 1929 San Francisco. And this was kind of baffling to me. I've been reading about the 2024 nickels, and they're very low mintage for last year. Out of 40,000 nickels, I only found two of the 2024 nickels. Thankfully, it was an example of each. I got a 2024 Philadelphia and a 2024 Denver. So, boom, I can check that one off. But overall, this was a really, really fun hunt. Found a bunch of silver nickels, several buffalo nickels. Heck, I even found another Liberty nickel that I needed for my collection, a 1901. Later on, where I do some close ups, I did get out the entire collection to show everyone and for documentation purposes of where I'm at. When I was getting all these nickels out, I stumbled upon the Liberty nickel that I found back on Valentine's Day, 2015. It's over a decade ago that I actually started this nickel collection. It wasn't until the last 2 years that I really got aggressive with it. So, anyway, let's check out the nickels. All right. So, I made it to 300,000 nickels searched. Still did not find the 39 Denver or the 1943 Denver. But I can't complain. So I have went through 40,000 nickels in the last 9 days. My goodness. I was really confident that I was going to find either the 39 Denver or the 1943 Denver, but hey, that's just how it rolls. So 300,000. Not really sure if I'm going to continue immediately. I'm certainly not going to give up on this, but I'm a little burned out on nickels right now. I mean, we got boxes right here. There's all the nickels that I just searched right there. Had to do some cleanup. This is just a pile of wrappers down here. I mean, here's all the gross, grimy nickels from 40,000. I won't send those back to the branch where I turn these in at. Here's some of the findings throughout the last 40,000. So we got some silver nickels, 38s, 39s. The key dates are already slabbed. Some foreigns, the Buffaloes, of course, the Liberty proof nickels. But anyway, let's get back to this most recent hunt. So, of course, I got the Tower of Disappointment, as they call it, the 1939 Philadelphia's. It is what it is. Couple silver nickels, 42S, 43 Philadelphia, 44 Philadelphia. It's not bad. 3 silver war nickels for 10,000 nickels isn't bad. I know I got a semi. This is the following morning. There it is. Got another 55 Philadelphia. So, anyone that searches nickels knows these ones aren't the most common. But, hey, found one. Golly, it's Tower of 58s. And I did get a couple of, I'll slab these. So that is a 1958 Denver. Yeah, very common. Very, very common. But still, when you find these old nickels in this condition, golly. So I had that one. I also had a 1956 Philly that was in Really nice shape. Things you find. Couple buffalo nickels. I did get another proof nickel. Look at that. It still amazes me the frequency that I find these in. So this is going to be a new coin that I add to the chart. I have kept every single proof that I have found. So I'm going to add that into the chart just to see how many it is that I've truly found. Find some averages on it. So again, what's unique about these, for those of you that don't know, these come in mint sets. Okay, you buy these for like gifts. You know, they're minted at San Francisco at the San Francisco Mint. They're not intended for circulation. It's just baffling that many of these things get cracked open and spent. It's just anyway. I did find the other 2024 that I needed, so very happy with that. 40,000 nickels. Okay, I only found 2 of the 2024 nickels. Only 2. Tower of Canada and a pair of 2009s. I haven't looked really at my nickel bucks in almost a year. See if I got any upgrades in here. These are all modern coins. I remember I had a few that were kind of grimy, and then I really just started focusing on the 1938 through 1961s. So anyway, I did get this one. This was early on. It's 1928. Anyway, well, let's get the books out, run some totals, and figure out what I got. All right, here it is. This is where the nickel collection's at. Liberty nickels, Buffalo nickels, Jefferson nickels, modern Jefferson nickels. There's a lot of time and effort in this. We did get 3 editions. Let's start over here with the Buffalo nickel. Out of the 40,000 nickels I just searched, I got 1 for the Buffalo connection, which, hey, I'm pretty happy with. 1929, San Francisco. They only minted 7.7 million of them. You can see the S below the words 5 cents at the bottom of the nickel. And the date right there. 1929. What a year. A very historic year in this country. And I lucked out here. I only found a pair of the new 2024 nickels. 40,000 nickels searched just to find 2 of these. Looks like I got them backwards, but there's a 24 Denver. Excuse me. I got them correct. There's a 24 Denver. There's a 24 Philadelphia. Ooh, scared me for a second there. Now up here, these are all the Liberty nickels that I have found. Found my first one on Valentine's Day, 2014. That was the same box that I found my 1950 Denver. Look at that. February 14th, 2015. I have been working on this for over a decade now. It wasn't until the last 2 years that I got really serious into this. Here's all the modern nickels, starting in 1962. They go all the way out here to present day. Buffalo nickels, we still got some slots to fill. I do not realistically anticipate completing this in its entirety, but it is really neat to see what can be found. And here it is, the 1938 through 1961 Jefferson nickel set. 39 Denver. Where is it? We'll get to it. Start getting into the Silver War nickels. I'm going to be making another video here approximating how many of these might be left in circulation. And there it is. There's the 1950 Denver. Certainly came out of someone's collection, given its condition. But look at the 1950 Philadelphia to the left. Found that one about a year ago, so find it at some point. All right. But anyway, losing my train of thought here. I'm gonna make another video, trying to figure out how many more nickels I realistically have to search before I find all these. In this book that's empty up here, these are for the Liberty nickels. The oldest one I found, 1887, last year in June. Where is it? 15 million of them they minted. It's absolutely incredible. And any of these can still be found. Circulation. All right. Let's bring on the totals. 300,000 nickels searched. Here it is. These are all the nickels that I have found in the last 300,000 nickels searched. For those of you that may just be watching this for the first time, the chart to the left shows all the different nickels that I'm actively searching for. Starts with the year, runs 1938 through 1959, all the way on the left. And then at the very top, you'll see the letters P, D, and S. Those all stand for where they were minted: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins that are highlighted in an off green, those are semi key date nickels. Those nickels that are highlighted in blue are key date nickels. Very difficult to find. And anything that's in gray, those are Silver War nickels. In the years from 1942 through 1945, in an effort to conserve nickel for the war effort for World War II, the nickels were made of 35% silver. Very sought after. And as of market close on Friday, I believe silver for each troy ounce was $34.34. So each one of those nickels has a melt value of $1.92 right now. And then towards the middle and towards the right, got some averages that I just like to keep on hand. So total boxes of nickels, 150 boxes. Each box is worth $100 and 2,000 nickels. And each box of nickels weighs 22.2 pounds. I have searched now over 3,330 pounds of nickels, or 7,500 rolls, or a face value of $15,000. Golly. Average number of Jeffersons per box is 26. What this means is out of every 2,000 nickels, or every box that I search, 26 of those nickels are from 1938 through 1959. I've excluded 1960 and 1961 because they're so common. They minted billions of them. Now, average find rates, we've got Buffalo nickels and Liberty nickels and Silver War nickels. So Buffalo's, it takes on average 3,371 nickels searched before I find a Buffalo nickel. The Liberty nickel average, I know this is not accurate. It's accurate for my hunts. That's standing around 33,000. Realistically, this should be much, much higher. Should be probably around one nickel for every 200,000 searched. And Silver War nickels, golly, wouldn't you know, I found exactly 100 Silver War nickels in the last 300,000 nickels. So on average, it takes about a box and a half to find one single Silver War nickel. And at the very bottom, I love these. Over 20,000 feet of nickel searched, or 3.95 miles. If you were to take a nickel, lay it flat, and line them up perfectly straight, it's almost 4 miles of nickels. Golly. So technically, I have searched 308,000. Those 4 boxes I searched back in 2015 before I even thought of keeping data on this. And that's when I found my 1950 Denver, which you'll see later on. I did add one new average in here, and that's proof nickels. So a couple guys online seem to keep track of these. So I have found 16 proof nickels. On average, I got to search 18,750 nickels before finding them. So, but you never ask, what is a proof nickel? So, proof nickels come out of mint sets. Maybe some of you, your grandparents bought you uh, a mint set for your birth year. Got a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a penny, maybe a 50-cent piece or a half dollar. And they're minted in San Francisco. They're not intended for circulation. So I have found 16 proof nickels, which is just mind blowing to me. How many people are cracking these things open and spending them? But hey, I find them, and so do other people online. Uh, anyway, let's check out some of the finds from the last couple hunts. So here was a coin that got my heart skipping a couple beats when I was going through rolls. This is a 1950 Philadelphia, the 19th one that I have found, to be exact. So I have a 1950 Denver, found in my very first box back on Valentine's Day, 2015. However, it's very obvious it came out of someone's collection. It's in this beautiful, almost mint state condition. Um, I really would like to find one that's been circulated. It's been out there for 75 years. They only minted 2.6 million of the 50 Denvers, and an example that you're looking at currently on the screen, the 1950 Philadelphia, and they made 9.8 million of them. It's a semi-key date, not a lot of them out there. But anyway, I saw this one looked to be really good. These coins always pop up date first. So it's never backwards with the reverse showing. So I saw it and I'm thinking, oh man, I might have found another one. Flipped it over. There was no Denver mint mark, but it is what it is. I'm pretty confident I will find one more of these. It seems with the other guys that share their numbers online, 50 Denver's almost easier to find than 39 Denver, which is just crazy to me. So, little backstory: that 50 Denver, it came out in 1950. Coin roll hunting and coin collecting was at a peak in this country, and they were hoarded. Couple knuckleheads got their hands on. Reportedly, one guy had 1 million of them in his possession, and they were just slowly selling them out at coin shows for $20 each. $20 in 1950. It's a lot of money. So I believe it's the only coin where it's easier to find a mint state condition than it is a circulated example, which is kind of backwards. But funny end of the story, coins never appreciated in value. Thank goodness. You can still find a mint state like an MS-63, MS-64, for like $15, $20 on eBay. So that's what happens when you're greedy. So I'll find one day. A circulated example. And here's the only Buffalo nickel that I added to the collection in the last 40,000 nickels. 1929 San Francisco. Wonderful condition for how old this coin is. A lot of times, these Buffalo nickels, the dates get worn off on them, and you got to acid treat them, then it makes them look terrible. Thankfully, this one didn't need any of that. Welcome addition to the collection. And here are the pair of 2024s that I found. These were the only two 2024 nickels that I found in 40,000 nickels. So they're no joke. They are very difficult to find. And thankfully, I found an example of each: the Philadelphia and the Denver. They're in great condition. There's no, major scratches or erosion or anything like that. So glad to check those ones off and back to focusing on all the other nickels. And I'll end the video with this nickel. This was the first Liberty V nickel that I found. February 14th, 2015. This coin also came out of the same box that I found my 1950 Denver. It's hard to believe I have been working on this nickel collection for over a decade now. 10 years I've been working on this. Now, granted, it wasn't until the last 2 years that I've gotten very aggressive with my hunting, but this was what started it all. This coin also was the same box that the 1950 Denver came out of. So, a little bit of a backstory on my coin collecting. In the winter of 2013 to 2014, I went through 980,000 pennies. With my then girlfriend, which turned to my fiance and now wife. We went through them all. It was a it was a good attempt at trying to complete the 1909 through 1958 wheat cent collection. Believe it or not, I found all the wheat cents except 14. Um, but once you get to 980,000, you realize, what am I even doing? So the nickels, that's the only uh, coin realistically that you can complete one of these older collections out of purely from coin roll hunting, or at least have a chance at it. So nickels, pretty much from here on out, it's the only thing I'm going to focus on. And once I've got the collection complete, I'll still keep hunting, just not at the rate that I'm doing right now. So anyway, 300,000. Got a lot of work to get these things turned back in. Not sure when I'm going to get back at this. I might buy a couple more boxes soon. Realistically, I'm probably not going to have a chance to do this until the end of December this year. But uh, I guess we'll just wait and see and find out. Fishing season's upon us, and that's going to be taking uh, top priority as far as hobbies. So, anyway, thanks for watching. You got any questions? Feel free to leave a comment below.